If you are waiting for your green card, if you have been counting days, checking dates, and wondering whether this month is finally your month, then what I am about to share with you matters more than anything else you will watch today. The United States Department of State has officially released the May 2026 Visa Bulletin, and this one carries a significant change, a shift that has surprised many applicants, especially those who were relying on the more flexible filing chart from last month. If you do not fully understand what just happened, you could miss your current filing window and may need to wait for a future opportunity. So stay with me. We are going to break down every single detail: the employment categories, the family categories, the chart switch, the retrogression warnings, and most importantly, what you need to do right now if your priority date is anywhere near current. Let us start from the very beginning, because to truly understand May, you have to understand what happened in April. April 2026 was one of the most significant months this Visa Bulletin has seen in years. The State Department made major advances across almost every employment-based category. EB2 Rest of World went fully current, meaning anyone in that category worldwide could file. EB2 India jumped by more than 300 days in a single month. EB3 Rest of World advanced 244 days. EB4 and special religious workers leapt forward by a full year. People who had been waiting for years suddenly found their priority dates current. Immigration attorneys were telling clients to file immediately, and those who listened were smart to do so. But here's the thing about the Visa Bulletin. What goes up fast does not always stay up, and the State Department made that very clear this month. May 2026 has put the brakes on employment-based movement. Almost every single employment-based category that advanced in April has been completely frozen in May. The dates did not go backward. There was no retrogression this month. But there was zero forward movement in EB1, EB2, and EB3 for nearly every country. And on top of that freeze, USCIS made a decision that directly impacts whether you can even submit your application this month. Here is the change you absolutely must understand. Every single month, USCIS chooses which chart applicants must use to file their adjustment of status application. There are two charts. The dates for filing chart is more generous. It allows you to submit your I-485 earlier, even before a visa number is technically available, as long as one is expected to become available soon. The final action dates chart is stricter. Your priority date must actually be current before you can file. For several months, USCIS had been allowing employment-based applicants to use that more generous dates for filing chart. Many applicants took advantage of that opportunity and submitted their applications during that window. That window has now closed for employment-based filers. For May 2026, USCIS has confirmed that employment-based applicants must use the final action dates chart, not the dates for filing chart. In plain English, if you were eligible to file under April's chart, but you are not yet current under May's final action dates chart, you can no longer file your I-485 starting May 1st. If you had a priority date that qualified you in April and you did not file before April 30th, you may now be looking at additional months of waiting before another window opens. If you find yourself in that situation, the most helpful step right now is to speak with a qualified immigration attorney to understand your specific options. Now let us go through exactly where the employment-based final action dates stand for May. EB1, the category for extraordinary ability, outstanding professors and researchers, and certain multinational executives. For all countries except China and India, EB1 remains fully current. Anyone in EB1, worldwide, Mexico, or Philippines, you can file right now. But for China and India, the EB1 final action date remains at April 1st, 2023. That date has not moved in May. EB2, advanced degree professionals and those with exceptional ability. For most of the world, rest of world, Mexico, Philippines, EB2 remains current. For China, the final action date is frozen at September 1st, 2021. For India, it is frozen at July 15th, 2014. Neither of those dates moved a single day in May. After April's massive advance for India, the State Department has hit pause completely. EB3, professionals, and skilled workers. For most of the world, final action dates sit at June 1st, 2024. Philippines is at August 1st, 2023. China sits at June 15th, 2021. India remains at November 15th, 2013, all unchanged from April. EB3 Other Workers. This is one of the very few employment categories that actually did see movement in May. The final action date for rest of world and Mexico advanced by 92 days, moving to February 1st, 2022. It is a modest advance, but it stands out against the complete freeze everywhere else. China Other Workers stays at February 1st, 2019. India Other Workers is unchanged at November 15th, 2013. Philippines Other Workers is at November 1st, 2021. And then there is EB5. The unreserved EB5 category for China moved forward by 21 days, placing the final action date at September 22, 2016. For Chinese investors sitting close to that date, that movement matters. India EB5 unreserved remains at May 1, 2022. And this is where the State Department issued its clearest and most unusual warning in the entire May Bulletin. The Bulletin includes a specific section, Section E, dedicated entirely to India EB5. The State Department explicitly stated that due to sufficient demand and increased number use by Indian nationals in the EB5 unreserved category, it may become necessary to retrogress the final action date or even make the category temporarily unavailable to keep issuances within the fiscal year 2026 annual limit. This is not standard language. This is a direct, targeted warning. If you are an Indian national with an EB5 unreserved case and your priority date is current, speak with your attorney and understand your filing timeline without delay. All EB5 set-aside categories, rural, high unemployment, and infrastructure, remain current for all countries and are unaffected. Now let us talk about why any of this is happening. Because understanding the reason behind the numbers helps you think clearly about what comes next. The official explanation is stated directly in the May Bulletin itself. The Bulletin notes that immigrant visa issuance rates for certain countries have decreased as a result of various administration actions. Referencing Presidential Proclamation 949 and Presidential Proclamation 998, because fewer visa numbers are being used by applicants affected by these measures, those numbers have become available for applicants from other countries. The State Department advanced dates to make use of those available numbers, which is exactly why April was so significant. But the Bulletin also makes something equally important very clear. As additional immigrant visa demand materializes, or if current administration actions are modified, retrogression may be necessary later in this fiscal year to keep issuances within the annual limits set by law. The State Department says this situation is being continually monitored. The conditions that created April's advances are not guaranteed to last. If the demand picture changes significantly before September 30th, 2026, the end of this fiscal year, dates could move backward. The State Department's language on this point is direct, and it is repeated throughout the Bulletin. Every applicant should take it seriously. Between now and September 30th, the June and July bulletins will be extremely important to watch closely. The consistent message from immigration professionals is the same. If you are eligible to file, file as soon as you can. Do not assume more favorable conditions will return before the fiscal year closes. Now let us shift to the family-sponsored categories, because this is where May 2026 delivered some genuinely positive news. For family-sponsored categories, USCIS has confirmed it will continue using the dates for filing chart. Family-based applicants inside the United States who are eligible can still use the more generous chart to file, and the actual movement in family categories for May is real and meaningful. F2A, spouses and children of lawful permanent residents. This category moved forward by 6 full months across every single country. For worldwide, China, India, and Philippines, the final action date advanced from February 1st, 2024 to August 1st, 2024. For Mexico, it moved from February 1st, 2023 to August 1st, 2023. A 6-month jump in one bulletin is significant. And on the dates for filing chart, F2A remains fully current for all countries. If you are the spouse or minor child of a green card holder and you are inside the United States right now, you can file your I-485 and receive your work authorization and travel document while your case is pending. That is a meaningful window, and it is open right now. F1. Unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. For worldwide, China and India, the final action date advanced to September 1, 2017. For Mexico, it moved to August 15, 2007. On the dates for filing chart, the date for worldwide China and India moved to October 1, 2018, a 7-month advance on that chart alone. These are meaningful gains for people in the F1 backlog. F3. Married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. For worldwide China and India, the final action date moved to February 15, 2012. For the Philippines, it moved to November 22, 2005. Mexico held steady. F4. Brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens. This is historically one of the most backlogged categories, with wait times stretching back many years. In May, there was real forward movement. For worldwide and China, the final action date moved to September 15, 2008. For the Philippines, it jumped to July 15, 2007. More than 5 months of advancement. India held at its current date, as did Mexico. No family-sponsored category retrogressed in May. Every category that moved forward. And USCIS is allowing family applicants to use the more generous dates for filing chart. This is genuinely good news. And it stands in sharp contrast to what happened on the employment side this month. Now a quick update on the diversity visa program. For May 2026, DV cutoff numbers are completely unchanged from April. Every geographic region held at the same values as last month. The DV 2026 annual limit has been reduced to approximately 52,000 visas after mandatory deductions under NACARA and the National Defense Authorization Act. Entitlement to DV 2026 immigrant status ends absolutely on September 30, 2026, with no extensions. If your lottery rank number is above the cutoff for your region, you are not yet scheduled for processing. One small piece of forward-looking information: the June 2026 advance notice inside the May Bulletin shows that for the Asia region, Nepal's cutoff will rise from 10,000 to 11,000. For Nepali DV applicants, that is a positive signal heading into June. Now let us bring it all together, because knowing what the bulletin says is only half the picture. What you actually do with this information is what matters. For employment-based applicants whose priority date is current under the final action dates chart in May, file as soon as possible. Once your I-485 is properly accepted, you enter the system. You receive your receipt notices. You become eligible for work authorization and advance parole travel while your case is pending. And even if priority dates shift after you file, your place in line is protected. The retrogression warning in this bulletin is real. And September 30th, 2026 is approaching. For family-based applicants, the picture is more encouraging. The dates for filing chart remains available. Categories are moving forward, but the same principle applies. If you are eligible now, there is no benefit to waiting. Confirming your eligibility, getting your documents in order, and speaking with an immigration professional once, especially if your situation is close to the cutoff, is always time well spent. Here is a final summary of everything you need to take away from May 2026. USCIS has switched to the final action dates chart for all employment-based filings in May. EB1, EB2, and EB3 are frozen at April values. No retrogression, but no advancement. EB3. Other workers for rest of world in Mexico advanced 92 days. EB5 China. Unreserved move forward 21 days. EB5 India unreserved carries an explicit retrogression or unavailability warning from the State Department. Family categories F1, F2A, F3, and F4 all moved forward, led by a 6-month jump in F2A across all countries. USCIS continues to honor the dates for filing chart for family-sponsored cases. No family category retrogressed this month. DV 2026 cutoff numbers are unchanged from April. And the State Department has warned that retrogression is possible before September 30th, 2026, depending on how demand develops. The May 2026 Visa Bulletin is live at travel.state.gov. USCIS has confirmed the applicable chart at uscis.gov. Everything covered today comes directly from those official government publications and verified immigration law analysis. The June 2026 bulletin drops in mid-May, and we will break it down the moment it is released. Subscribe so you do not miss it. This is your green card journey. One decision this month can shape the months ahead. Stay informed, stay prepared, and act when your moment comes.